I'm really excited to be able to talk to you guys today about the brand new Nothing Phone 2A Plus. It's an upgrade to what we saw originally with the Nothing Phone 2A, and with the Nothing Phone 3 not coming till 2025, this is going to be a nice little upgrade from the Nothing 2A that we saw before, but also providing us a great experience at a very affordable price point. So without further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and talk about all the cool things that the brand new Nothing Phone 2A Plus brings to the table. This is TK. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So here we have it, the brand new Nothing Phone 2A Plus. Hopefully you guys can see that there. This one is actually in color gray. There's going to be two variants, but in the US, this is pretty much the only color that's coming in. It is by Nothing, you see here, 2A Plus again, and of course, Nothing word on the side and the specifications on the back. We have 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage. That's pretty much going to be the only configuration, and it is going to be available through the beta program in the US starting August 7th for $399. So definitely a very affordable, very budget-friendly and conscious device, and it's going to carry us for the rest of the year till the Nothing Phone 3 comes out in 2025. Packaging is pretty straightforward. I'll go ahead and put the phone here on the side. Again, as I mentioned to you guys, in the US, we're only going to get the gray color, and I'm going to say that I really like it. Although more than likely in the European markets or in the other markets, we're probably going to be able to see the black and gray version. The gray one looks almost like it's a closer to silver, but it definitely looks very nice. And you can see the aesthetics. We have the glyph interface again. The 2A series carries it only on the top. On the bottom, we have the coils for basically the power cables, the charging, the speakers. No wireless charging. You'll notice there is no wireless coil sitting here, but we're still supporting the dual camera sensors on the back, the dual 50 megapixel camera sensors, and of course some other upgrades that we've seen with the Plus edition. As far as the packaging itself, everything else is pretty much straightforward. We have a C2C cable that provides us the ability of charging and transferring data directly from our device. And last but not least is that very nice, unique, let's go ahead and let it focus. That's the SIM ejector tool that comes with most Nothing phones. So it's very nice, and I love the fact that it literally looks like a small screwdriver. You may be wondering, first thing obviously is, TK, what are the big differences between these two devices? They look very similar. From a design standpoint and screen display technology, I think for the most part we're carrying the same thing. It's Full HD Plus. The battery capacity that we have here, we're still carrying a 5,000 milliampere battery, no wireless charging, but we went up on the charging speed here from 45 watt to 50 watts on the brand new 2A Plus. The other thing that we also changed here is some of the hardware is slightly different. The main processor that we're looking at here, although still a Dimensity chipset, it's not the 7200 that we have on the 2A. By the way, this is the 2A on the left. I probably don't notice it because the 2A Plus looks similar. And one of the biggest things I'll probably say is the upgrade here to the 7350 Pro. That's going to be one of the new processors from MediaTek. That's the Dimensity 7350 Pro 5G, of course. Now the clock speed maximum here is up to 3 gigahertz as opposed to the 2.8, not really kind of slicing it, but this actual performance increase is going to give us some new capabilities on this device. As far as the actual GPU performance, up to 1.3 gigahertz as opposed to 1.0, so better gaming. 90 frames per second consistent on Call of Duty Mobile here, very nice. The cameras on the back are pretty much the same, 50 megapixels both on the main and the ultra wide. And that's because on the front facing camera, we went over from the 32 megapixel camera sensor that we have on the 2A to a 50 megapixel camera on the front. So combining that with the system that we have here with the new processor, now we're able to shoot 4K 30 frames per second on the front, on the ultra-wide, and on the main sensor, continuing the experience all across everything. Also, one of the new updates that we have in here is this brand new chat, basically news reader, that basically a ChatGPT functionality that they added in here as part of their news widget, and you can actually just launch it by touching it, and it'll start reading it for you. It actually is the CFO, Tim, from Nothing that's actually reading it, so this is their voice. But it kind of gives you like the different options. You can press and hold on it, go into the widget settings, and customize the different feeds that you'd like to listen to. And once you have that ready, you can just click it, it starts playing, and it'll actually play even if you turn off the display. But technology, again, same thing, 6.7-inch display, 120 hertz AMOLED display, 30 to 120 hertz refresh rate basically there. Although the net brightness is pretty much the same, 1300 and well, basically 1100 high brightness mode, and of course up to 1300 in peak brightness, depending on what you're using on this device. But in general, typical usage is about 700 nits, and of course IP54 water and dust resistance. But as you can see here, design-wise, they look very similar. Again, this is the black one, this is the gray one. In the US, we're going to be getting this version version at 12 to 56 gigs of storage, and then this is going to be the 2 variants available in the European market. 399 pounds there, if I'm not mistaken, and about $399 here for the variant that we have in here. And of course, it does support 5G. I've been actually using it on T-Mobile here in the LA area, and as you can see here, I was able to clock in 129 down, about 50 up here on T-Mobile with my 5G signal. I've been using it directly on here, and you can see my SIM card is sitting there, and we have voice over LTE as well. As far as the OS, we're running Android 14 right out of the box. Let's go ahead and go with settings. We'll go directly about phone. As you can see here, the Nothing Phone 2a Plus is the actual unit itself. Triple 50 camera stack, 256 gigs of storage, 12 gigs of RAM with an additional 2, but you're also able to actually augment that, of course. And as you can see here, the battery is at 5,000, 6.7 inch, flexible AMOLED from 30 to 120 hertz refresh rate, full HD plus with Android 14 out of the box. I did receive one update. I am running and basically Nothing OS 2.6, and then of course I was able to run that and just make sure to check here. We don't have any more updates, and it is running as a July 1st, 2024 security patch update, so it's pretty accurate. Some of the other thing obviously we've seen before is the glyph composer. You can actually just go ahead and turn it off, turn it on. A lot of the functionalities we've had before, glyph, flip the glyph timer, the volume, the composer, you're able to go in there, customize and create your own actual customizations. I'll actually put them in there. We have the Swedish House Mafia sitting in there. And of course, music virtualizer is on. You can turn that on as well, bedtime schedule. And of course, the integration with applications like Uber, depending if you have some things that use that, you'll be able to actually see the progress and the volume configuration on the back. Now, I want to say that the overall performance here is very noticeable to what you'd expect. There is a generational upgrade from what we see here with the Nothing Phone 2a. And what I'm referring to here is obviously when we look at the Geekbench score, again, this is purely for reference. We're talking about the 7200 to the 7300 and 7350 Pro on Dimensity as far as the processors. We're noticing pretty much basically how the jump in performance is going to be accepted here. So that means in general, loading applications, running applications on this device will be about 10% faster because of the clock speed that we're getting there as well. But one of the biggest differences that I really appreciate about this is when we go into the video mode and start looking at the front facing. So 4K 30 frames per second is pretty much what we get on the main sensor. If we jump into the ultra-wide, 4K 30. Jump in on the ultra-wide, same thing. And of course, the 2x kind of just crop at the 50 mil focal length. But when we switch over to the front-facing sensor, this is where it kind of changes dramatically. We only were able to do 1080p 60 frames per second as far as the actual capability. That's the maximum we were able to do with that 32 megapixel camera. So with the upgraded processor as well as the upgraded camera sensor, we're now able to shoot 4K 30 frames per second on the brand new Nothing Phone 2a. And of course, we have still photo mode, portrait mode. You can go in there, you have panorama, expert, time-lapse, and of course the ability of customizing everything else that you'd like, even slow motion options in here. Let's go ahead and go outside real quick and do a quick sample of the front-facing and the rear-facing camera. Starting off with the front-facing camera, this is one of the upgrades that we saw here with the Plus Edition, and now we actually have a 50 megapixel camera that also allows us to shoot 4K 30 frames per second. So it's a combination of the new processor as well as the main sensor that we have in here in the front, providing us a better experience. And at least now we are matching the 4K 30 that we're able to shoot on the back. Switching it over now to the main sensor on the back. Now we're also able to shoot 4K 30 on this one, even on the ultra-wide, and that's because that's how the system is set up. We have 3 cameras, all 3 are 50 megapixel cameras, and we obviously have a little bit of faster charging here at 50 watts as opposed to 45. But the main capabilities and the main things that we appreciate here is the brand new processor opens up the continuous 4K 30 from the front to the back to the ultra-wide, making this a very unified experience on the, again, the Nothing Phone 2a Plus. Hope you guys are enjoying this sample. Sorry, there's a little bit of a bug kind of thing going on here, but let's go ahead and check out some of the other things we can do on this phone. Now, as you saw there, the performance is definitely very nice and very noticeably different than what we've seen before. The upgraded hardware with the capabilities that we have now makes it so that the experience on the Nothing Phone 2a Plus is actually consistent across the 3 sensors that we have. There are 3 50 megapixel cameras, again, at a price point of about $400. That's a crazy configuration with 256 gigs of storage. But let's not waste any time. The volume rocker here is at 100%. We're going to be playing our favorite song. Again, this is purely to demonstrate the performance of the speakers at their highest capability. Obviously, you're not going to play it like this all the time, but because we have stereo speakers, we definitely want to be able to enjoy our content. So go ahead and switch over. I'll start the song.
Jack it up.
Sounds pretty good. When I was playing Call of Duty, it definitely sounded really, really nice, and I appreciated the haptics that we have on here as far as the haptic motor. I do keep it in vibration mode. Let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump in real quick in here. We do have the brand new gaming mode. If I swipe over here from the left side, you can see here we can turn on performance mode, turn off performance mode if you'd like, screen recording, notification block, call blocking, as well as brightness lock, and of course going into the settings in here and customizing the experience. We are able to get a solid 90 frames per second. Let's go ahead and claim these, and we'll go ahead and jump back. Let's go ahead and close, close, close. And if we go into the settings section under graphics and information, you'll notice we're able to actually clock in under ultra. You can see here that all of the configuration that we're going to get here, as long as we go with low graphic quality, we're able to go all the way to 90 frames per second, utilizing the beautiful display that we have in here and enjoying the gaming experience on this device. One of the biggest things that I really appreciate here is that this is a 7000 series. This is actually the best 7000 series chipset to date from MediaTek. So the 7350 Pro is literally the best that they have to offer. It's a budget-friendly processor, but it gives us the capabilities of doing more than what we had with the 7200. And one of the things that I appreciate again is the improvement in the camera experience. Overall, as far as daily use, opening, closing applications, it's going to depend on what you're using and how, I guess, system intense these applications are. Obviously, I'm not talking Instagram, TikTok, or anything like that. Those typically don't do much. But if, let's say, you're going to be rendering, you're going to be basically using CapCut to create some content from here, you're going to appreciate having that little extra horsepower, about 10% improvement there. Between the GPU and the CPU, you're definitely not going to be disappointed in here. So from as far as the price point and what you saw here with the gaming experience, this is definitely very nice. The frame rate was really good, solid performer. The speakers were definitely very nice. The overall UI experience that we have in here, the integration with ChatGPT, the newsreader that we have in here is definitely very nice. And what I appreciate about it is the fact that we're getting an updated version of the 2A. The 2A was already an affordable, great device to actually pick up for such a small amount of money to be able to get such a great feature set built into it. So for the remaining part of 2024, this is pretty much going to be the 2A or the A series continuation. I really appreciate the camera experience that we're getting in here from the images I was able to use. Again, this is just an initial impressions. It actually performs quite well. The biggest thing I'll say, if you are snapping multiple images, just be aware if you go into the preview to give it a little bit of time for it to actually go ahead and process the images to give you that really nice, rich image processing. And of course, the ability of running video here at 4K 30, the ability of using, night mode, using portrait mode, and some of the images that we're getting there, you're not going to be disappointed. So I'm really happy about this. And of course, I want to say thank you very much to Nothing for allowing me to check out the brand new 2A Plus. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Do you feel like this is enough of an improvement over the 2A to make you decide to jump into it now? Have you enjoyed all the coverage that was done on the 2A before and you're appreciating the 2A Plus now even more? This is TK. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Like and subscribe as usual. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.